Before we begin, take a deep breath and really think about this. Have you ever tried so hard to hold on to someone, prayed for them, fought for them, cried for them, and yet everything kept falling apart? No matter how much effort you put in, something always blocked the path. Misunderstandings kept happening. Timing was always wrong. Peace was missing, and deep down there was a quiet whisper telling you this is not it. But you ignored it. What if I told you that sometimes rejection is protection? Sometimes delay is divine redirection. And sometimes when God removes someone from your life, it is not punishment, it is mercy. On Mind Unmasked, we talk about the truths people feel but rarely say out loud. And today, we are unmasking something deeply spiritual and deeply personal. There are moments when God does not want you with someone. Not because you are unworthy, not because they are evil, but because the path you are meant to walk cannot include them. This is not about blaming the other person. This is not about bitterness. This is about awareness, growth, alignment. Let us walk through 5 powerful things that often happen when God does not want you with someone. First, you lose your peace. Peace is one of the clearest signs from God. When something is meant for you, even if it is challenging, there is still an inner calm, a sense of rightness. But when someone is not meant for you, your spirit becomes restless. You overthink constantly. You replay conversations in your head. You feel anxious before seeing them. You feel drained after talking to them. Your intuition keeps ringing alarm bells, but your heart tries to silence it. You start praying not for gratitude, but for clarity. You start asking God for signs because confusion becomes your daily reality. When God does not want you with someone, your soul knows before your mind accepts it. You feel tension instead of tranquility. You feel emotional chaos instead of comfort. It is not normal to feel constant anxiety in something that is supposed to feel safe. Love should not feel like walking on eggshells. It should not feel like begging for reassurance every week. God's design includes peace. When peace disappears for a long time, that is not random. That is a signal. Second, doors keep closing no matter how hard you try. You try to fix things. You communicate more. You compromise more. You forgive more. You become more patient, and still, something keeps going wrong. Plans get canceled. Opportunities to move forward collapse. Families oppose it. Long-distance issues arise. Financial instability shows up. Timing never aligns. It feels like every time you take 2 steps forward, life pushes you 3 steps back. When something is aligned with God's will, doors may open slowly, but they open. When something is not aligned, resistance becomes constant. This does not mean relationships are effortless. Every relationship requires work. But there is a difference between healthy challenges and divine obstruction. If you constantly feel like you are fighting the universe just to keep someone in your life, pause. Ask yourself why everything feels forced. Sometimes the more you chase, the more it runs. Not because you are not enough, but because you are chasing something that was never assigned to you. God will not bless what He did not design for you long term. Third, you start losing yourself. One of the clearest signs that someone is not meant for you is when you slowly stop recognizing yourself. You change your values to please them. You silence your opinions to avoid conflict. You shrink your dreams because they feel threatened. You compromise your faith to keep them comfortable. You start neglecting your goals. Your connection with God weakens. Your confidence drops. You become smaller in order to keep the relationship bigger. That is not love. That is self-erasure. When God brings someone into your life who is meant for you, they do not require you to abandon your purpose. They support it. They encourage your growth. They make you feel more like yourself, not less. If being with someone consistently pulls you away from who you are becoming, that is not alignment. That is distraction. And sometimes God removes distractions not to hurt you, but to protect your destiny. You were not created to trade your calling for companionship. You were not created to dim your light to keep someone comfortable. If loving them costs you your identity, that love is too expensive. Fourth, you feel convicted in your spirit. This one is subtle but powerful. You might look good together on the outside. People might even praise the relationship. But inside, something feels off. When you pray, you feel uneasy about it. When you seek guidance, you receive warnings. When you sit in silence, your spirit feels heavy. Conviction is different from fear. Fear is anxiety about losing someone. Conviction is a deep spiritual knowing that this is not aligned. You might try to justify it. You might say nobody is perfect. You might convince yourself that love is enough. But deep down, you feel the tension between your desires and God's direction. God does not shout most of the time. He whispers. And if you ignore the whisper long enough, the whisper becomes circumstances. And circumstances become separation. Sometimes we ask God for signs, and then, when He gives them, we negotiate with Him. If you constantly feel spiritually uneasy about someone, do not ignore it. That discomfort may be divine protection. Fifth, the separation transforms you instead of destroying you. When God removes someone who is not meant for you, the pain feels unbearable at first. You question everything. You feel rejected. You feel abandoned. But then something surprising happens. You start growing. You get closer to God. You focus on your purpose. You heal old wounds. You discover strength you did not know you had. The separation pushes you into self-discovery. It forces you to confront your fears of loneliness. It teaches you boundaries. It builds resilience. And one day, you look back and realize that losing them was the turning point that led you to a better version of yourself. If someone was truly meant to walk your entire journey with you, their absence would permanently break you. But when someone is not meant for your destiny, their absence redirects you. God removes people who cannot go where He is taking you. Sometimes you are crying over a chapter that was only meant to be a lesson. Now, let us talk honestly. It is hard to accept that someone you love is not meant for you. It feels unfair. You might think, why would God let me love them if they were not for me? But love teaches, love reveals, love matures. Not every love is meant to last forever. Some loves are meant to wake you up. Some are meant to expose your insecurities. Some are meant to show you what you truly need. And here is something powerful. Just because you want someone does not mean they are good for your future. God sees what you cannot see. He sees 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead. He sees the habits, the character, the hidden incompatibilities that you are blind to because emotions are loud. Sometimes you are attached to potential, not reality. You are in love with who they could become, not who they are right now. God does not deal in fantasies, He deals in truth, and truth sometimes hurts before it heals. Let me tell you something you might need to hear today. If you had to beg for consistency, they were not assigned to you. If you had to sacrifice your standards to keep them, they were not aligned with you. If you felt more anxiety than peace, they were not your safe place. If every sign pointed toward letting go, but you kept holding on out of fear, that fear is not from God. God does not create confusion. He brings clarity. He does not create chaos. He brings order. You might be in a season right now where you are struggling to let someone go. You keep checking their social media. You keep hoping they will come back. You keep replaying the memories. And I get it. The human heart does not detach overnight, but ask yourself this. If God is removing them, what is He preparing you for? Maybe He is preparing you for someone who will not make you question your worth. Maybe He is preparing you for a season of growth that requires solitude. Maybe He is protecting you from heartbreak that would have been far worse later. Sometimes we are disappointed because we see the closed door. But we do not see the disaster that door prevented. Trust is hardest when you do not understand. Faith is strongest when you choose to believe without full clarity. And here is a powerful shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this end?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of asking, "Why did God take them away?" ask, "What is God trying to build in me?" Rejection does not mean you are not lovable. It means redirection is happening. Delay does not mean denial. It means preparation. And loneliness does not mean abandonment. It means refinement. There is a difference between holding on out of love and holding on out of fear. Love trusts God's timing. Fear tries to control it. If God does not want you with someone, no amount of effort will force it to thrive long term. You may prolong it, you may delay the inevitable, but eventually misalignment reveals itself, and when it does, you will either let go willingly or be forced to let go painfully. The wiser path is surrender. Surrender is not weakness, it is strength. It is saying, "God, I do not understand this, but I trust you more than my emotions." You are not losing, you are being led. You are not abandoned, you are being redirected. You are not unloved. You are being protected. One day you may meet someone who feels different. The connection will not feel forced. The communication will not feel exhausting. The peace will not feel temporary. And you will look back at this moment and thank God for every closed door that once broke your heart. Because sometimes the worst thing that could have happened is staying. And sometimes the best thing that could have happened is letting go. If this message touched something in you, sit with it. Reflect, pray, be honest with yourself. On Mind Unmasked, we are not here to sell fairy tales. We are here to face truth with courage. If you are in a relationship that feels constantly chaotic, do not ignore your spirit. If you have already lost someone and you are still hurting, know this. Pain is not proof that you lost your destiny. It may be proof that you were saved from the wrong path. Healing takes time, growth takes intention. Trust takes faith, but you are stronger than you think, and God is wiser than your emotions. As we close today, remember this. When God does not want you with someone, 5 things often happen. You lose your peace, doors keep closing. You start losing yourself, your spirit feels convicted, and the separation ultimately transforms you. None of this is random. Every closed door carries purpose. Every goodbye carries direction. Every heartbreak carries a hidden lesson. You are not behind in life. You are being positioned. You are not rejected. You are redirected. And the love meant for you will not require you to fight God to keep it. Stay patient. Stay faithful. Stay aware. This is Mind Unmasked, where we strip away illusions and confront the truths that shape our lives. If you found clarity here, carry it with you. Reflect on it. Let it guide your decisions, and remember, what God removes, He replaces with something greater in time. Trust the process even when it hurts.